be visionaries. Marcus Garvey was a visionary. This man behind me, Thomas Sankara, was a visionary. El Hajj, Malik El Shabazz, Sekou Touré, Osagyefo, Kwame Nkrumah, Winnie Mandela, Robert Sobukwe, visionaries. Visionaries. Walter Rodney, visionaries. We need visionaries. And when you are a visionary, you said tomorrow's not promised. Let me deal with that Negro quote. I'm glad, no disrespect to you, brother. I'm not attacking you, but I want to deal with what you said because you just enunciated one of the major intellectual handicaps of the Negro psyche. The brother just posted, tomorrow is not promised. That's what he said. He said, tomorrow is not promised. Well, here's my question, black man. Can I ask you a question for all you tomorrow is not promised Negroes? Can I ask you a question about to all you tomorrow is not promised to us Negroes? Who the hell said reparations was for you in the first place? See, we want to deal with this reparations thing today. We're going to deal with who said reparations was for your cooning ass in the first place. Who said reparations was for the African American living in 2020? Who said that? Why are you making the assumption that this money is for you? Do y'all understand where I'm going with this? If you can understand, or overstand me, I need a black fist from the brothers and a heart from the queens. If you can understand and overstand where I'm going with this, I need a black fist from the brothers and a heart from the queens. Okay? 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 Reparations is not for you. Reparations is for the race. And reparations for American Africans is for the entire community of American Africans. Who is to say we don't put that in the bank and let it sit for $100 for 100 years first? Who is to say we won't take our reparations and put 25% of it in the Nigerian stock exchange, and 25% of it in the South African stock exchange, and 25% of it in the Ghanaian stock exchange, and 25% of it to invest in Ethiopia? Who is to say that reparations has to be money, and who is to say that it has to be given to you? That's why I'm a visionary. That's why I'm a visionary. That's why I am a visionary. You can't hustle me. All this reparations talk, Garvey is the father of all of it. Take that somewhere else. All this reparations talk, Marcus Garvey is the father of all of it. Take it somewhere else. Okay? You selfish Negroes. Ain't nobody paying you. This is for us. This ain't for you. Somebody said under the $14 trillion Bob Johnson plan, somebody said under the $14 trillion Bob Johnson plan, every African American alive will get $350 check. You Negroes are crazy. You Negroes are crazy. You Negroes are crazy right now. I'm catching the African Holy Ghost on the second day of my fast. Did I hear somebody say, under the Bob Johnson plan, every African American gets a $350,000 check? Can I ask you a question? You narrow-minded, tomorrow is not promised Negroes. Can I ask you a question? You narrow-minded, tomorrow is not promised Negroes. Let's say you get your $350,000 check. And let's assume it's tax-free, because nobody got to that yet. Let's assume it's tax-free, because it might not be. Let's assume it's tax-free. What's the first thing you're going to do with your money? You're going to buy you a house. Probably going to get you a car. Most of y'all going to get a car first, right? You want to turn up. So you're going to go get you a nice Benz E-Class or big body Benz. That's about $150 out of $350. You got $200,000 left. Now you want to get a house in a white suburb. So after you get your house and your car, what you going to do after that? What you going to do after that? Now, some of you say, nah, doc, I'm going to open me a small business. Good thinking. Good thinking. So you open you up a small business, you got some overhead money, a little stash for the tough times. You know, black people don't like to support black people. So you got some money for the tough times. You got to get through your first 5 years as a black business in order to survive for the next 10. Okay. But here's my question to you. The United States government financing your small business, because $350,000, that's a small business. Okay. You're not getting no car lot with that. You're not building no Walmart with that. You're not starting no shipping line with that. That's a small business. Here's my question for you. Here's my question for you. We have at least Father Belly, my Sailor, my Jenny, my Betsy, Grandma Young Betsy, Grandpop Steve, Grandpop George. You've had at least, I have 7 generations of ancestors who were enslaved. 7 generations of ancestors that were enslaved. 7 generations. So are you trying to tell me that the U.S. government financing your small business is sufficient as a compensation package for 7+ generations of your people being forced to work for free and being psychologically terrorized? Is that enough for you? Because it's not for me. It's not for me. It's not for me. See, they don't want me on CNN. See, I want to know why Don Lemon ain't called me up yet. You keep calling up rappers. Shout out to the rappers. Intelligent, articulate. I support those young brothers out there. But why are you not talking to the revolutionary scholars? You call up Michael Eric Dyson, and you should. I love my elder scholar. You call up Cornel West, and you should. I love my elder scholar. But why is it? Why is it? Y'all haven't asked me for my input on police genocide. Why is it? No one has called me up for my input. I have the degrees. I went to the same colleges they went to. In fact, I got more degrees than them. I'm a young black professional. Why can't I give my take? Why can't I speak my speech? Put some respect on my name. Phone ain't ringing. Lavender mellows you out. Essential oil. Lavender. Woo! Woo! Lord have mercy. You don't need marijuana to get high. You don't need cocaine. You don't need alcohol. All you need is some essential oil. Woo! And activate your chakras. Activate your chakras, raise your consciousness. Get you tea tree oil. I don't know if I want to sniff no tea tree oil. That's an antiseptic. I don't know about tea tree oil. Frankincense. August babies. If you are a Leo, we do frankincense. Leo and frankincense. That's why they gave Jesus frankincense. The 3 wise men gave Jesus frankincense because Jesus is a Leo. He was born on my birthday, August the 21st. Bible changed that. Pick another good one I got. This is called Thieves. Woo! We're going to get back to reparations in a minute. You got to get some of this. And for my married men out there, if you're married, ladies, if you're married, get an essential oil for your husband if he's having performance issues. If your husband is having performance issues, have him before, when it's time to conceive child, to bring forth Christ. You have him beam up so he can beam in. Make sure he beam up. I love peppermint. I got peppermint too. I like that peppermint. This was given to me. Woo. Lord have mercy. I'll be in my shrine getting high. Y'all have no idea. I'll be in my shrine getting high. Y'all have no idea. Woo. Let's get back to the topic. Beam up so he can beam in. You need that Shango. Okay? to the reparations. Okay, there was an idea I was going to give y'all. And the idea was, I want to contact the Congressional Black Caucus, and I want to have a couple of plenary sessions with the Congressional Black Caucus. If Dr. Umar reaches out to the Congressional Black Caucus on behalf of young grassroots Black America, do y'all think that's a good move? And who wants to go with me? Who wants to go with me? Who wants to go with King Kong Consciousness to Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, to sit down and have a conversation with your elected Black officials so we can decide upon a Black agenda that we can carry out? Who wants to go with me? Who wants to go to the National Black Caucus with Dr. Umar? Maxine Waters, we need a conversation. Who the sister Camilla Harris? We need a conversation. All these Black representatives, we need a conversation. Who wants to go? We're going to be respectful. We're not going to disrespect them because many of them are our elders. But we got to find out, how do they come up with these ideas? We got to find out, are you guys really struggling for Black people, or do you just represent the flunky party of the Democratic Party? Does the Congressional Black Caucus represent Black America, or are y'all simply the ghetto of the Democratic Party? Help me out. Do y'all represent Black America, or are you simply the ghetto functionaries of the white Democratic Party? We need answers. So, let's talk about reparations. Guess what I want on my list? And these are in no order. These are in no order. These are in no order. Guess what I want on my list? Black people don't have to run for office. Let me take that back. Black people don't have to run against white people for office. We are automatically given a certain set of seats in the U.S. Senate. We are automatically given a certain set of seats in the U.S. Congress. We are automatically given a certain amount of state representative seats and a certain amount of state senator seats. We are automatically given 2 U.S. Supreme Court justices in perpetuity, permanently. This is permanent. We still vote for the person we want in the seat, but we don't have to fight to get to Congress no more. We already there. We don't have to fight to get to the Supreme Court. We already there. We don't have to fight to get to the state legislature. We are already there. We are automatically, we have seats in the Senate. We got seats in the House. We got seats in the Supreme Court. We automatically get a certain amount of presidential cabinet positions. Oh, we definitely need more. But don't let them give you some money and then they make laws to take the money right back tomorrow. I need y'all to get visionary. They will give you $350,000 today and they will change the law tomorrow. They will give you $350,000 today and then they will change the law tomorrow. Are y'all listening to me? So we got to have representation to let us know what the hell they going, what they doing. So number one, permanent representative seats everywhere. Number one. Number two, that money that they're giving out, that 350 grand, guess what? That's renewable. For y'all Negroes who want that money for number 10, that money is renewable. We don't get no one-time 350K. We get 350K every 10 years. Every 10 years, every African American gets a $350,000 check from the government. That's right. Bob Johnson, you can tear that $14 trillion plan up, throw it in the trash. Bob Johnson, you can tear that $350,000 proposal, $14 trillion, throw it in the trash. We get $350 every decade. 2010, 350K for every African American. 2020, 350K for every African American. 2030, 350K for every African American. 2040, 350K for every African American. 2050, 350K for every African American. Now, some of you are going to say, Dr. Umar, that's a little bit unrealistic. And I'm going to ask you why. And you're going to say, maybe that's too much. I beg your pardon. We're talking about money that has no value, that he can print whenever he feel like it. And you're telling me that 350K per African American every decade is too much? Or are you out of your crazy coon mind? That is not asking too much. And let me tell you why it's not asking too much. Let me tell you why. Let's kick the ballistics. You know why it's not too much? I'm going to tell you why. The reason it's not too much is because according to their experts, the wealth gap between African Americans and white people is so wide. Listen to me, coons. Listen to me, coons. Listen to me, coons. According to their economists, the wealth gap between the African American and the European is so wide in America, so wide, that we couldn't close it in the next 100 years. Let me repeat it. Let me repeat this. Let me explain to you why we should be getting 350K every decade. Let me explain to you why we should be getting 350K every decade. The wealth gap, according to white economic experts, according to their experts, the wealth gap between the black man and the black woman, the black man and the white man, the black woman and the white woman is so wide. The wealth gap is so wide that if every black person got a college degree and a good job, we would not close it in 100 years. If every black person got a doctorate degree and a good job, we couldn't close the wealth gap in 100 years. So don't tell me that $350,000 one time is enough to compensate for 4 centuries of a labor that made America the preeminent economic and political power in the world. Y'all don't want me in charge of reparations. You ain't going to give me some little bougie black plan to get a quick check. My ancestors is worth more than that. So we got politicians, permanent seats. We're getting $350,000 every decade. Number 3, let's talk about land. Land is the basis of wealth. But I want to preface my comment. By saying to all of you, even though we should get some land, never once consider yourself an independent nation. You cannot coexist as a black nation surrounded by a white hostile nation. It's ridiculous for you to even think that. That's why black nationalism will never work. Black nationalism will not work without Pan-Africanism, and that's why we call it Pan-African nationalism. I said black nationalism will never work without Pan-Africanism. That's why we call it Pan-African nationalism. Black nationalism will never work without Pan-Africanism. That's why we call it Pan-African nationalism. Now, we do need some land. Not because we're going to be an independent nation, because you can't be independent surrounded by hostile power. You can't. Okay? 50 million blacks surrounded by 350 million hostile whites isn't going to get the job done. Okay? But we need land because we need psychological space to be alone. It is psychologically unhealthy for us not to have space for ourselves. It is psychologically unhealthy for us not to be able to detach from the matrix. and experience some peace and calm. And experience some peace and calm. Okay? Okay? But let's talk about the lands we do want. I want to be absolutely clear when I say this. I want to be y'all listening? I want to be absolutely clear when I say this. There are 10 states that make up 60% of the African American population in this country. There are 10 states that make up somebody said he like them thick. Stay out of my personal business. There's 10 states that make up the majority of the African American population. Let's talk about those 10 states. New York, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, Florida, California, Illinois, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm missing 2. Illinois, Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Georgia, and I'm missing 1. So we got 9 of them. I'm missing 1, but we got 9. California, New York, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, Florida, Jersey, Georgia, and Illinois, right? If we want 5 states, okay, the 5 states that we get must not be landlocked. We must be on the eastern seaboard. Listen to me, y'all. Listen to me. The 5 states that we want for reparations must be on the eastern seaboard. And the reason why those 5 states must be on the eastern seaboard is whenever they come to conduct another Black Wall Street invasion, we can load our people up on the Black Star Line battleships and get our ass to Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Togo, Benin, Congo. We got to be able to get the hell up out of here. We must be on the eastern seaboard. We must be on the eastern seaboard. We must be on the eastern seaboard. Don't you let them put us in Arkansas, Mississippi. Mississippi is on the Gulf Coast though, but nah, we want east. We want Africa. We need to be close to home. The closest point to Africa is the East Coast. Okay? So if they're going to give us 5 states, we're going to demand 5 states. What should be the 5? It should be 5 of the states where we already have the largest population of Black people. So let me give you the 5 states that we want. We want Georgia. We want Florida. We want North Carolina. We want Texas. Illinois is by a great lake. You know what? We could decide on a 4th state, but we want Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, and Texas. We want those 4 states. They might not give us Texas, right? So we got Georgia, North Carolina, Florida. Do we want New Jersey? Let's take Jersey. Let's take Jersey. So they got to give us Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, New Jersey, and 1 more state. I don't think we're going to get New York. It's too important for white power. They're not going to give us New York. They're not going to give us California. Too important for white power. So give us Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, and New Jersey. Most of us are already there anyway. Getting Texas will be hard. But that's okay. We can negotiate. Maybe they'll give us South Carolina. Give us South Carolina. Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. All them touch. Look at that. All them touch. So I like that. Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. We want them 4. Alabama. Alabama touches Florida. Alabama touches Georgia. We might take Alabama. So now we are in the southeastern section of the United States. Okay? Honestly, I don't need to be up north, but some people say we need 1 northern state for Black folks who love the northeast. Okay? They want to be mid-Atlantic. So maybe we'll take Jersey, or Maryland. My ancestors come from Maryland. Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman. Let's take Maryland, okay? So we're going to do Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, and Maryland. Those will be the 5 black states. And we own the resources in those states. We control the waterways in those states. And because those are our states, just like the Native Americans, we don't pay any taxes. That's number 3. But guess what? Number 4. Black people, okay, are automatically given control over certain American industries. What am I talking about? I'm talking about we should be given total ownership of all black music and all black music publishing. Did y'all hear what I just said? Did y'all hear what I just said? We want ownership of all black music ever. Michael Jackson music, Prince music, Motown catalog, Whitney Houston, Tupac Shakur. We want ownership, exclusive ownership of all black. No excuses. All black music comes to black people. Why is that important? Do y'all know why that's important? Music is America's 2nd largest export industry. 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 Do you know how much money we would make just selling our music of our ancestors? Do you know how much money we would bring into the black nation just selling our ancestors' music? Are y'all listening to me? Do you know how much money Aretha Franklin's music, Michael Jackson's music, Prince music, Whitney Houston, Tupac, Biggie Smalls? You should not be confused right now. You should not be confused right now. That means you need to come back and